Oh, Christmas tree, thy leaves are so unchanging. Oh, Christmas tree, thy leaves are so unchanging. Not only green when summer's here, but also when it's cold and drear. Oh, Christmas tree, thy leaves are so unchanging. Oh.
I'm going to attempt to make a Christmas tree paddle. I've been mulling this over for a while. We'll see how this goes. Took that stick, and what I need to do is cover it in, this is a UV resin. It cures when it's in UV light or sunlight. So the resin that I use, it's a polyurethane resin, and it does not react well to any moisture. Now, wood is inherently, it has water in it, moisture. Even a piece of wood that's been sitting out for a long time can still contain some amount of moisture. So what I'm doing is taking the UV resin and applying it to that stick. That way it acts as kind of a barrier between the resin and any moisture that's in the stick. It's not going to have an effect, you know, down the line or anything. I'm going to attempt to embed that into the paddle mold and try to, I don't know how to put this, how to explain it. You'll just have to fucking see, because once you see what I'm doing, it'll all make sense. So right now I just applied a little bit of the UV resin to the stick. I have to do it in segments, because if I try to cover the entire thing in the resin, it's a sticky mess until it cures. So I have to do piece by piece by piece and let it cure, and then I'll probably do 2 coats just to ensure that it doesn't have any exposed material for when I do pour the polyurethane resin. So let's do that. The resin that I'm using has a 12-minute jump off point. You have 12 minutes to do what you're going to do with it before it starts to cure. And by jump off point, I mean it usually will go from like a viscous liquid to almost like a gel. And you have to be able to time that just right, or you lose the window. So what I have to do is I have the mold sectioned off. I'm going to actually do a clear in the handle, do the green in the main body, and then at the top I'm going to do a gold so it can be like the star on top of the tree. So what I have to do is put those things in and keep them separated, because I don't want them to mix until the last moment. I can pull the dividers out, throw it in the pressure pot and be good. But when I pull the dividers out, I need to take the stick and embed it down into the resin and then throw it in the pressure pot. Now, keeping the thing separated and then pulling the dividers out, I have no problem with that. I'll be able to keep that and make that work like it needs to. My issue, what could make or break this, is that wooden stick going in and having some type of moisture or something happen, and it ruins the piece, and then I have to start over. And if I have to start over, I'm not going to do the stick. I'll do the handle a brown instead of a clear. You'll see what I'm talking about. So I'm about to get all that set up, and then we will do that shit. Well, I didn't count on the stick floating and having some type of moisture or something happen. So we'll see what happens. I tried to keep pushing it down as long as I could till it like popped off. So the resin was starting to get pretty warm by the time I was able to get it in. So I'll demold it tomorrow morning and see what I have to work with. So see you fucking then. I struggled with trying to submerge the stick. It kept floating, and I was hoping that that jump off point had started to gel just enough to keep it down, but it did not. So, gonna redo it. I don't know what I'm gonna end up doing with this guy yet. I'm set up to do it all over again. I've got the dividers in the different compartments, and instead of trying to embed a stick, I'm going to just do the handle brown. Then I'll be able to work with it from there. And instead of using the alcohol dyes like I did on that one, which makes it very translucent, I'm going to actually use micas for all three, like the tree, the foliage, wood, and the star. So it's all going to be a little bit more opaque. It'll still look cool. So I'll save you the tedium of watching it all happen again, since we already fucking did that. The next shot you should hopefully be seeing is me demolding it. Let's do that shit. This is the replacement. Kind of just drew out what I plan on doing with it. I'll have to cut that out and then do another pour. Yeah. I love it when the neighbor comes over because he brings me free wood. Fuck yeah. Thank you, neighbor. It will come in handy. What I'm doing is I'm filing all the edges to kind of clean up some of the corners and the points and hopefully get a little bit more uniform. You see how that side's kind of wavy? So I'm just working my way around. I gotta fix that. But now I need to do this side. So we're going to do that shit. Yeah. It has been exactly 1,500 years waiting for this resin to cure. It's time to take it out of the pot. Let's do it. Spoiler alert, we already, we've already looked at it, but forgot to record it. So we're gonna still act surprised, and yeah, here we go. Ooh,
Oh, it looks so good.
Check that shit out.
Holy calamity.
Screaming insanity. All right, we are on to sanding and then finishing this guy. Really excited about that. So this one actually has a little bit of white hazing, but I'll be able to sand that off, and then I've got to round off the corners. An interesting thing that happened is that the mold sat at just a slight angle, and it actually kind of raised the Christmas tree. See that? Ah. That's something pretty cool that was super unexpected. So we're going to leave that into the design, and I'm just going to sand it, round off the edges, finish it, and then present it to the world. Let us do that shit, right? Oh yeah, an interesting side note. This apron, this will be the last time that you see it in one of these videos, so I'm currently making its replacement, because this thing I've had for years, and it actually started life as a pair of bib overalls that were like a size 60, and then we just kind of modified it to wear a paracord belt. So my hillbilly looking ass apron is going in the trash real soon, and the next video you will see the new apron. So let's get on with the show. And so this concludes the latest edition of Penguin After Dark. End result came out really well. This is the original attempt. I think I know what I did wrong. Why it's so white and didn't cure right. When I mixed up, I had to buy a new set of resin. I finished the old set, but then I had to add the new set into it, or the new batch. But I got the ratios off because I poured A and then I poured B. And then with the second one, I wasn't paying attention and poured B and then A, and the different amounts that I needed were off. This was the first attempt that failed. This is the second attempt that came out. A little Penguin After Dark there, man. So, pretty stoked with that. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe, like, comment, hit the bell notification, blah, the fucking blah, 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 blah. Until next time, peace!